Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you the ways you can run scripts in both After Effects and Premiere Pro. There are several methods we can use to run scripts and they're quite simple, but it's a good thing to just have it cataloged and to teach each of you the various methods you can use to basically run any kind of script in the programs. This can change how you're going to debug things, but overall this should help you figure out which method works best for you. So we're just going to dive straight into this because it's a pretty simple tutorial, and we're just going to first start with After Effects. So what are the ways we can run scripts in After Effects? And one thing is, if you're using Visual Studio Code for any of your coding and debugging in either of these programs, one thing to note is the Adobe Script Runner extension by RenderTom, I believe, is completely not working for Mac now and is no longer going to be available on the marketplace because of a potential copyright claim. So that is one method that I'm going to talk about, but is maybe not going to be applicable forever. But we'll go ahead and start off with something different, and that is running through ExtendScript. This is the tried and true method for running basically scripts in any program that you have installed. If you're not familiar, you can get ExtendScript through the Creative Cloud app, and for example, we'll start with After Effects. We have a basic script here we're going to use for all of our examples today, just alert running a script. We're just going to run a simple alert because that's going to work in any of the programs that you could be running scripts in. So we have After Effects loaded up right here. We're going to go ahead and change the ExtendScript program to whatever version of After Effects this is, in my case 2023. If successful, you'll see this green link, and if it's broken or red, you can try and click on it to enable it like that. But there are other cases where it won't run. For example, if you have Visual Studio Code already up and running with ExtendScript Debugger going, that can cause an issue. So if you, for some reason, can't connect to After Effects, or you can't connect to your Adobe program in ExtendScript, I believe I made a separate video for this, but just remember to close your application, Adobe application, close Visual Studio Code, and then launch ExtendScript first, so it kind of has the admin rights sort of, or the priority to run the script. So we're now connected to After Effects CC 2013. We'll hit the play button and boom, we've run our script. Super simple, and that's the tried and true way and the most original way to run scripts in After Effects. The next way is from within After Effects itself. If we go to File, Scripts, Run Script File, you'll actually have needed to save your script. In this case, I haven't saved this particular script, but in Visual Studio Code, I have a one-to-one, which I saved here. And it's just the same thing running a script. So I'll select that from wherever I saved it on my computer, and just like that, it runs our script. The last way we can run our scripts for After Effects is using Visual Studio Code. Extension-wise, you will need the Adobe created ExtendScript Debugger. This basically offers you all the same functionality offered through ExtendScript itself, however, inside of VS Code. People have had issues before running this in various ways, and there's lots of basically forum posts and documentation on trying to figure that out. As well, on the debugger page itself, you can see they have tons of details on everything you can do, from running troubleshooting to debugging, all the things that aren't supported like profiling, object model viewer, autocomplete, and the scripts panel. But other than that, it's going to work just fine. Basically, the way it works is you load your script, you select the target application. In this case, we have After Effects 2023. And as you can see, you can sometimes get this number 15 can't initialize target. That is the error most people are going to get. So because there is sort of this conflict between running ExtendScript and VS Code at the same time, a lot of times we have to basically close the programs, relaunch VS Code in this case, and I'll go ahead and relaunch After Effects as well. Select your target application, in this case again, CC 2014 After Effects. And now that we see that it's connected here, we want to go over to the Run and Debug section to make sure it's all set up. We basically just have to hit Run and Debug with our script selected. You can see it's starting it in the After Effects main engine according to the output. And you can see in After Effects, we have a alert running a script and 2222. So using that, we can then, go in and modify our code. Maybe we just want this one alert here. We run and debug, and we get our updates. So sometimes there can be conflicts between ExtendScript and VS Code. You basically want to choose one or the other if you're using the ExtendScript debugger in VS Code. So one other thing I wanted to mention that I mentioned briefly is the extension called Adobe Script Runner by RenderTom. This is again possibly not available when you're watching this, but you can always go into the extensions and see if it's available. What this allows us to do is load up our script, hit F1, and type in the application we want to launch it in. So maybe we want Illustrator, Photoshop, After Effects Beta even. In this case, just After Effects, and we'll choose the most recent version of After Effects, and in this case, run our script. Again, I don't know how this is going to play out in the future, but it's also one other option you have. We can now move on to the ways to run scripts in Premiere. First, we're going to start off with the same thing as the After Effects example. That is running it through ExtendScript. We can choose Premiere Pro, in this case 2023. Make sure we have the green link symbol. Again, if it's red and unbroken, you can click it and it should work. If it's still not, make sure you have all your VS Code instances closed. Then we can just simply hit the play button and we will get our simple alerts. In this case, you can make updates, save it, run it again, and see what those changes look like. And because we're now going to use VS Code for the next example, I'm going to close ExtendScript, and that should actually be enough. I believe we shouldn't have to close Premiere every single time. We have this script. We're going to choose a target application. In this case, it allows us to select Premiere Pro 2023. You can see we're now connected using New World, and we'll hit Run and Debug in the Run and Debug section of VS Code. And as you can see, we now are running our script successfully. I'm still a stickler about using ExtendScript because I've been using that for over 10 years now, but these variables and watch and call stack availabilities inside of VS Code are super helpful in a much more modern way, and of course you have dark mode. If for some reason the previous two methods aren't going to work for you, you can always run an extension which will run a script. In this case, I just have basic extension testing code. So I've gone ahead and stripped out most of my extension code, but I have this init function where I'm going to add a new CS interface. So CS interface.eval script. What script function are we going to evaluate? We'll just call one called init. If you're not familiar with extensions, I have plenty of tutorials on them, but basically we have this bridge between the extensions and scripting called CS interface, and it allows us to evaluate a script function with a certain name. So we can just say function init and have some alerts inside of there, save it, and now when we run this extension testing, you can see we get hello inside of the JSX now. So you can use basically an extension to have a nice UI and then run some code in it. But the reason sometimes we opt to use this instead of the other options is because there's no file, scripts, run script icon inside of Premiere. We just have the choice of using extensions, ExtendScript, or VS Code. So that's kind of one option as well, especially if you have like a list of scripts you want to run. You can pile them into buttons inside of here, run the function specifically inside of your main.js, name it whatever you want, and then run that code. If you're still not sure which to use, basically use ExtendScript or VS Code. The ExtendScript program is old, but it still works. It does have some issues on Mac, so if you're on Mac, you are more likely to have to use VS Code and the ExtendScript debugger. And if you're new, I definitely recommend learning the ExtendScript debugger as well, because it basically is the more futuristic way of doing things. It is going to have more support in the future, especially ExtendScript is kind of old news, and it just is going to give you a more modern approach to everything. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Those are all the ways to run scripts in Adobe After Effects and Premiere Pro. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.